Hey guys, and welcome back. Hold on. Hey guys, and welcome to Not Pawn Guy How to Fit Broken Movie. Today is actually going to be the Star Wars prequels and sequels. I know that many fans hate Star Wars. Now, how can I approach this topic? And yes, I will make The Incredible 2 later. I promise. I will make An Incredible 2. Now, taking a look at what episodes are being rewritten by fans will give me an idea. Now, how can I handle, I would talk about the first two. I still want Qui-Gon Jinn to be in episode 1. Qui-Gon Jinn is an old Jedi Knight with his still Padawan Obi-Wan Kenobi. And instead of being 8 years old or however he looked in the actual Phantom Menace, I have one simple fix. The fifth Phantom Menace. One simple fix. Just age up the character of Anakin Skywalker a little. And now I have some. Make the clones kind of more like, instead of the bounty hunter Jango Fett, make it like a stormtrooper. But because that's where many fans think that stormtrooper came from. And everyone likes. Those are the simple fixes. Well, episode 1 and 2, I really like their story. And now about the sequel trilogy. Now about the sequel trilogy. How I still wanted to be set, but instead of using the TIE fighters that we actually see in Phantom, the episodes that the one for the Force Awakens, I would use the one that we actually saw, the TIE fighter that we saw in Rogue One, kind of like, yeah, just reverse the TIE fighter that we see in Rogue One and the Force Awakens, and that's the fix. Besides several fixes, of course, that I will probably leave a link to in the description. Now, Rey was a Jedi Padawan of Luke Skywalker's school for Jedi Padawan. In the years after the Empire fallen, some people that had powers like those of a Jedi, but being how they can keep it hidden did. So Rey discovered her power randomly while dying, and I'm still going to keep the plans that we see in the film. And also, there's the First Order has foes of the original Empire, like with Lord Vader. And also, yes, in this season of Ion, the conductor, the guard, I'm going to use the word guard and conductor. From now on, Duck will only start here. I will reorganize these for the episodes. and then the guard. The first episode I really want with this season will be titled Thomas's Branch Line. I'm getting off topic. I'll get back to what I was thinking. Where was I? Oh yeah. Yeah, two. I recommend some easy fishes. You're thinking some easy fishes? But isn't the prequels don't matter? Like, 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 there will be a massive time jump in the Force Awakens. Han Solo. Right. Star Wars I couldn't think of really good and I'm trying to think, guys. Let's just say that the Star Wars prequel were. I think I'm done with Not Punch Guy for However Broken Movie for right now. After Star Wars prequels and sequels, and maybe I fit Star. You know what? Let me go through at least the movies. Episode 1, I wouldn't change the overarching story. Like, have the the Old Republic will still be the plan that we see, but yet those plans that are not in the Galactic Republic, like half the galaxy. You see, the Galactic Republic is thinking about abandoning in episode 1, and then Qui-Gon, the most senior Jedi, I say that Anakin is a young teenager, kind of like how he was at the beginning of Star Wars Episode 2. Now, Anakin is a moisture farmer like Luke, with his real parents on the desert planet Tatooine, trying to make ends meet. When one day, it's the same thing. Pod races, yada yada yada. He wins his freedom, but his mother also wins freedom. His mother also wins. But his mother said, "I can't, hon." Why, Mom? Because I made a vow to your dad almost 55 years ago. Almost 55, that we would stay here where we met all those years ago. Surely Dad would want us to see the galaxy. I'm sorry, hon. But I wouldn't. Surely Dad could have wanted us to see the galaxy. Could have wanted. I don't think Dad would have wanted us to see the galaxy, hon. I doubt that very much that Dad wouldn't want us. I know. As Anakin said, listen, if I find a good planet, and then turns out he's still the chosen one. He's still the chosen one, the one that will bring balance to the Almighty Force. One that will bring balance to the Almighty Force. As he leaves Tatooine, he will say, "Bye, Mom. Make sure my robot." Anakin has another way of making money. Besides the way he also made robots and sold them off. But then his mother decided to start to make a droid factory. but she stole the copyrighted stuff off to Cloud City. Without, and she made as she sit there on the shuttle, going to another planet, and said, "Obi-Wan, I feel something." Obi-Wan is still how he is in the actual Phantom Menace, by the way. But Anakin, Obi-Wan, I feel something inside me, like my heart. But then when he met Padme, he tried everything. Like, the place, like he sent her flowers, stuff like that. Basically, which leads into the events of episode 2. It's only been like 5 years between episode 1. Qui-Gon still dies due to Darth Maul. And yes, basically everything that really happened in Phantom Menace, like the action is still happening. About the Galactic Republic, Obi-Wan. What? Can we ask them to expand? That what it was? We were expanding the Galactic Republic. Why? Because Bespin. What? These are droids? Yeah. They're made from a planet on the planet Geonosis. Building all the diplomat stuff is actually the B story in the movie. Here's how I would fix episode 2. After I fix episode 1, I did fix episode 1. That's how I would fix episode 1. Episode 2 will start 5 years after the events of episode 1. So Anakin 15 years old now. Oh, in episode 1, I make him now 13 years old. I make him almost into a teen year. He was 11 in episode 1. So 5 years later, he would be, let's see. I changed my mind. He would be, he's 13 in episode 1. So 5 years later, he would be, so he would be 18 years old. And he was thinking about marrying Padme. And he said, the Jedi. Don't worry, it won't mess up the stock. It won't mess up the original trilogy. Don't worry, for all of you worrying that it will mess up the original Star Wars trilogy, it won't. Won't. Palpatine, Jar Jar Binks will actually become. He will reveal himself. Atlee Jar Jar, there will be a prison plan for the diplomat prisoners. And Jar Jar said, Misa was a Sith Lord, Misa was. But Misa didn't want to be a Sith Lord no more. Jar Jar Binks was a Sith Lord. He said, what happened was, Jar Jar was still introduced, but then he accidentally pulled his lightsaber, and that got Qui-Gon sent. After the battle with with that guy that has a dual blade lightsaber. What's that guy's name again? After that battle with Darth Maul, Jar Jar said, "Good riddance." And when Anakin, as Jar Jar embraced his fake persona of a nice guy, he said, "Good riddance to that useless Sith that didn't even take over an entire half of a galaxy." But then Obi-Wan said, "What was that?" Nah. He tried to use a simple mind trick like anyone would use in the Force, but it was too little, too late. Jar Jar Binks unveiled himself a dark. Now here's an even darker name than just simply Dark Jar Jar. His name is Dark Obsidian. Yeah, I am Dark Obsidian. As his eyes turned in that moment Sith orange, and he reveals himself that I let all of this happen. Then why were you really banned, Jar Jar? Because I killed 19 people, he said. As Jar Jar hold Obi-Wan using a Force trick that he remembered from Palpatine. Yeah, Palpatine also manipulated Jar Jar Binks into a Sith Lord. But then years later, Dark Sidious, he was known as Dark Obsidian. He said, "You know what? As we Atlas visit the planet Prison, the planet doesn't have a name. It's simply known as simply that, the Prison Planet. And Jar Jar is back in his old cell." He said, Jar Jar has actually been arrested a lot. And then Skywalker said, "Obi-Wan, can you let me kill him?" "No, Anakin, that will break a treaty of the Jedi Code." "What? Killing even a Sith?" "No, no. At least, and all the Jedi Masters that we see in the last episode, we also see here. He said, as Yoda literally said, "Young Skywalker. Hey, I'm 18. I'm almost an adult. I'm 18. "I know you are," said all the other Jedi. That's why, you know what? As Grandma, Mace Windu said, "You know what? What? We will stop calling you Young Skywalker. Okay? When you turn 20. How about when I turn illegally 8, the age that you stop being called, that you're a kid, which is what? 18? You know what? Yeah. New Jedi Code. That you will stop being called a young someone as soon as you turn the ripe age of 18. Think the entire events of Attack of the Clones went without incident. But guess who was manipulating 2 clones to break him out? Darth. How about Darth? Dark Sidious. Dark Sidious. How about Palpatine? How about Jar Jar be Dark Sidious? How about Dark Sidious is Palpatine and Jar Jar's Sith identity? How about Palpatine take the name of Dark? How about he's Dark Lord? Dark, no. Dark Obsidian is a Dark Obsidian breaks out, and as he uses public perception of Jar Jar Binks, even though Jar Jar now wanted fugitive for escaping galactic prison, he finds Palpatine and he manipulates someone to elect him to be Senator Palpatine, which brings us finally to the events of Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Now, Anakin Skywalker's hunting, and yes, Anakin lost a. Now, it's actually been 10 years since we last saw him. He's now 30. Now he's 30. Now he wants to be a. Now as a 31-year-old, now he's 30, he said, man. As he said, man, Obi-Wan, what? No, he doesn't. He goes back to now that can I go back home from now that it's under the Galactic Republic? Sure. To see how my mom's doing. I haven't seen her in over for at that time Anakin last talk he's now 30 years old and he hasn't seen his mother since he was 13. I haven't seen her since I was almost 13 and now I'm almost 31 years old. And by the way, for those that curious let me just so on April 19th. So his birthday is April 19th. And they've already passed it. I will be next, and yes, they do. With Palpatine, now you're probably wondering how would Anakin turn into Darth Vader? Well, Palpatine, Qui-Gon snuck into him, placed memories of Palpatine of Padme dying. And then he goes, and then he turned to the dark side, and all the events happen. Now that's how you fit the Star Wars prequels, but now how you fit the Star Wars sequel trilogy. I still want it to be set 30, like maybe a year, 35 years after Star Wars. Still finish the Stormtrooper and all the stuff that you. Instead, we at least started with the ending of episodes, and then we have 30 years later. Kylo Ren and not the Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren with the First Order, have been killing people left, right. You might be thinking, killing people left and right. Or you might be thinking, doesn't that sound like his grandfather, Darth Vader? Which you might be thinking, of course, because his grandfather was Darth Vader. Why would he not kill someone left and right. Because he would kill someone left, like Vader. Like his grandpa would. Now Kylo Ren is looking for Luke Skywalker to kill him. Because unlike what happened in real, Ben Solo is actually a different guy than Kylo Ren. You see this... Okay, Ben Solo is still Kylo. You see, they have 3 children. Qui-Gon Jr. Luke, Leia insisted to name one of the babies after. You see, Luke got... You see... Kylo has another 2 more brothers and another sister, Padme. Leia insisted on naming the first 2 after her parents that she never met. After her biological parents. She liked it. And but Han Solo was dead set on one naming the babies after he wanted to name a baby after if he ever got married, he wanted to name someone Ben. So they had an understanding. There's someone. Anyway, they had an understanding. Anakin Skywalker Jr. But then, the 3rd child, Luke and Leia are out. They have another brother named Qui-Gon Jinn Jr. Named after. Who are you exactly? I'm Qui-Gon Jr. Your father named me after. Name me after. Name me after Qui-Gon Jinn himself. Oh right, I forgot. Leia, you never told me you had another brother. He was kept on the... Where was he kept? I would put up for a doc. I was taken... Where were you? You don't want to know. Anyway, wait, Qui-Gon Jr. said, I've been on the Boo. Oh, so you went... So we each went to different planets. I went to Alderaan. Luke went to Tatooine. And you went... So we each got separated. That's what I know. So anyway, Ben Solo, they heard the stories of his grandfather. Before bed, Han Solo would tell them all stories of their grandparents. Padme and Anakin Skywalker. Dad, whatever happened to Anakin? He got sucked in by the dark, by your And one day they had a visit to Luke, their uncle. Their uncle Luke lived on Coruscant, in the big city. Said, Uncle, whatever happened to your dad? Uncle, whatever happened to your dad? He got consumed by what now known as the dark side of the Force. It was a great power that consumed it, and he became a big guy. He became Darth Vader. And then but then that night Kylo wanted to be a Sith Lord like Grandpa because he looked too much up like him. But then Anakin Skywalker Jr. Anakin Jr. tried to stop him, but he couldn't. They sent him to the prison planet from the prequels. How about just Gamma Quadrant Blue? How about if we know the planet was known as the prison where all dark side energy stopped, so that would like give the name of Sun. I hate to do this, but as they arrived there in the Millennium Falcon to the dark side stop. Darth, my son, looked too much like his grandfather. And after some time in the therapy section of the prison planet, he wasn't. He made it. He killed everyone and changed his name. And in Sith Lord, he became a Sith Lord known as Kylo Ren. My name no longer Ben Solo. It's Kylo Ren. 30 years have passed by since that day. He was only 8. And now he's 30 years have passed by. And now the galaxy is under threat of the First Order led by Kylo Ren, who's a full-blown Sith. He has every power that Sith gonna have. Now he has every power that Sith has. And the only way to stop him. And meanwhile, Luke Skywalker school for Jedi. A young Jedi named Rey is being trained by Luke himself to stop Kylo Ren. To stop Kylo. Because Luke said, she couldn't really stop him, but he said, did you stop him? After the event, it's still the last Jedi. The last Jedi. Where Luke said, did you stop him? No. What? How infuriating. Go back to Jakku. As she almost wanted to go back to Jakku. I'm not mad, I'm mad at you. But Master Skywalker, don't fail me. You have wrong capabilities as a good Jedi. But you couldn't. We stopped at least Star Killer Base, like you did when you stopped the Empire with the Death Star. Oh, so that like the Empire, the First Order has a battle station, because yeah, and it's bigger than the actual Death Star. Even bigger than Death Star 2 or Death Star 3. Then I would call it Death Star. No, Star Killer Base, which did something. Eradicate 5 planets from existence. No wonder I felt. As the entire rest of the movie film will have, when we're revealing that she has something, that she's Palpatine's daughter. Palpatine did make the move on someone back time when the galaxy here, Dark Obsidian. So anyway, the entire event of The Last Jedi play out. And so Luke says, enough. Rey, go. I will deal with him. As Luke Skywalker turns on his lightsaber, his green one says, it is me, you, Kylo. Well, until then, as he said the famous lines of Optimus Prime, one shall stand, one shall fall. As he said, I wouldn't have any on your way, Uncle. As they fight each other, Luke says, man, you're powerful as Sith. You're even powerful than your grandfather. What? I'm almost as powerful as he? The Rise of Skywalker plays out basically the same. But instead of Leia. As it ended with a new galactic republic being put back in order to replace the one that and she and it started like how it started how Steven on Star Wars started. And yeah, Rey color changed it to what to yellow halfway into the story. So there's a bit not upon guide on how to broken movies. I'm not upon, and I'll see you later. Enjoy. Anyway, with those simple fixes, these Star Wars episodes will become more light. Maybe stay tuned for later today when I make the first episode of Not Punk Guide of Broken TV shows. Until then, I'm Not Punk, and I'll see you later.